What's up? I'm Jack. Welcome back to the LFC Transfer Room. Today's video is a short clip from our stream earlier today where we previewed the match against Chelsea. We give our predicted lineup for that match and how Liverpool could line up against Thomas Tuchel's men. Watch to find out and make sure to subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it.
So tomorrow is a really big match, Liverpool versus Chelsea at Anfield. So I think to start things off, Liverpool's predicted 11. Alisson, I mean, it's a given in net. What are some of the contentious spots in the squad? Fabinho back, Jota versus Firmino. This is going to be kind of a free-flowing discussion on this, but Chris, starting off with you, what's the kind of the general sense you get or you want to get from the team that Klopp will put out tomorrow?
I want it to be experienced. I think we saw young Harvey Elliott against Burnley. I don't think Chelsea would be the game to play Harvey Elliott in, especially if we see the return of Thiago and Fabinho. I know Fabinho's been training this week after the passing of his father. So I think those two have to come back in midfield. Back four, we have to stick the same for me. I don't know about the fitness of Andy Robertson, but if he's fit, he plays for me. But if not, Costa Simicas comes in. But yeah, and then the front three picks itself at the moment: Salah, Mane, Jota.
So does the front three pick itself, Samuel?
No.
Is it a no question that
I'm thinking more. I feel like maybe I'm thinking more about Chelsea and the way they play. I feel like for me, obviously with Alisson and goal, I feel like keep the back four. If Robertson's fit, he probably is. Just put him in there. I would put in. Wait, Chris, what was your midfield three? Was it so Thiago, Fabinho, and Henderson, right?
Oh, I think Chris is frozen.
Yeah, it's frozen. But, okay, let me just say, yeah.
I'm gonna get.
But I wouldn't start Thiago. Reason being, I just feel like Keita right now is in a good moment and he's playing well 2 games in a row. He's played a full preseason and obviously he has played against Chelsea before and he played well. So I would say to play Keita, Fabinho, and Henderson. I think that's what I'll go with. Thiago, I don't want to put him in there just in case he might not be fully fit. And for the front three, obviously, Chelsea play 3-5-2. I feel like just for this game, I will start Firmino instead of Jota. Reason being, because I feel like the chances. Okay, I feel like we're gonna need to play a different way than we have against Burnley and Norwich, and I feel like with Chelsea, defensively they are probably the most solid team in the Premier League, and someone like Jota, his all-round play right now isn't cutting it for me personally. You know what I'm saying, like, I would probably put Firmino for his clever movement and obviously his ability to play between the lines and get Salah and Mane in the game. Then obviously Jota can come in 60 minutes in. That's why I'll probably play Firmino instead of Jota. But at the same time, you might want, let's say that we get maybe 5 chances. We want at least like 2 or 3 of them to fall to Jota. So it's a win-win. It's a lose-lose. And I feel like whoever Klopp picks, I feel like they'll be like more than good enough to win the game. So yeah.
Omer, your front three, your midfield three. How do you see that kind of dynamic playing out?
I think there's in those positions. There's 2 positions really up for grabs. Like I think Fabinho, Henderson, Salah, Mane are guaranteed starters. It's about the third midfielder and forward. I would agree with Chris on Jota because I think he has the magic touch at the moment. I just think when you have a player in that sort of form, that sort of moment, like in these sort of games when you're playing a team like Chelsea, who Samuel said has like a really strong back 5, those sort of players can sneak in and make the difference. Midfield, however, I would go with Sam. I'll go with Keita. I think you don't know how it is with Thiago. I think Keita started the season well. He's actually played against Chelsea pretty well at Anfield on his last, I think, 2 appearances. He's played against them. So I think it's time to just give Keita that trust, and I think Klopp will give it. I think Thiago off the bench at 60, 65, 70, he has like the ability to just grab hold of the game. Whereas Keita probably right now has a bit more intent to go from the start, and I think we're going to start fast. So I think he's more suited to the way we're going to play.
Really quick before I move this on, I'm about to edit the graphic we're going to have to show a little banner on the bottom, and I think this is the lineup from maybe like February last year. Center back duo of Fabinho and Kabak, and a midfield trio of Thiago, Milner, Wijnaldum. So all I'm going to say is we're happier now than we were then, in my opinion.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, that game they just played with us. They
I
played
can't
with
lie,
us.
that game probably the worst game in that period for me, because the way we tried to press them so well, but they just picked us like crazy. And that's why I was saying, I just feel like with Chelsea, I don't want to, like, I do feel like we're a better team than them still, but the way they play out from the back with that back five, so even if we do press, they're always going to have like a spare man. So I just feel like with someone like Firmino, who's probably, I would say, probably a better presser than Jota, and obviously someone who probably track someone like Jorginho around the pitch, I just feel like that would just give us like a little tactical edge. But yeah, man,
I think I'm convinced. Actually, I think I'm convinced. I think I'm on the Firmino train now. Actually,
yeah, because I'm just thinking about Chelsea. I feel like Firmino will follow Jorginho. He'll get back. He'll make it. Like, I think that he'll make it. Make the midfield a 4. I just feel like, just in terms of like just making sure that they don't get their players like straight in the game. I just feel like get someone like Firmino who knows how to play. Yeah, just doing that. But yeah,
you mentioned that the formation they play. I forget if it's a 3-5-2 or 3-4-3. We talked to Dom Fifield. Go check that video out on the channel. It's a preview of the match.
Christmas tree.
It's Christmas tree. So I think playing for Matty, Jota, Salah would almost be too much of a flat front 3 against the 3 at the back. So Firmino can pull the center backs out of position. He can track back against Jorginho. I think that makes the most sense if you ask me. So I think we're in consensus on Firmino, Mane, Salah. The midfield, Chris, I think you froze in your little the thinking man pose. What was your midfield trio that you had?
Sorry, fellas. My midfield three. I'm almost convinced. I think a game like this would have been perfect for Thiago in full pomp. However, he's not. So Fabinho, Henderson, and Keita.
So the last position that I want to bring up, left back. We've mentioned a little bit. Tsimikas, fit, really good first 2 performances versus Jota. What am I talking about? Robertson. Jota at left back. That'd be fascinating development. At left back, Robertson or Tsimikas. It obviously depends on fitness, but how much are you weighing that position? Chris, start with you. Which guy are you picking at the left back spot?
Robertson fit. He plays for me every time. I know, he's come back from an injury that wasn't, it looked like it was going to be longer than it was, but he still got a full preseason, and yes, it was stunted. Yes, he would have played. Tsimikas has done well, but I am scared of Reece James against Tsimikas on that side. I don't think he's as defensively solid as Andy Robertson. So I'd have 100. If it was maybe against, like someone different, if it was against Norwich again or something like that, I'd be Tsimikas. But as it's Chelsea and Robertson's fit, he plays for me.
Sam?
Yeah, same. I agree. I think Tsimikas might be lacking a bit on the defensive side. So to just be safe, just not leave things to chance. Put Robertson in. He was training from last week, so he definitely fit.
Deserving versus which one you trust more. How much does deserving come into your thought process, Omar, when you think about how good Kosas has been and how harsh it would be to take him out at this point?
It would be harsh, but look, Andy Robertson is probably on form the best left back in the world, and he has the experience just to come into these games and knows how to play them. Like, you saw how Chelsea exploited Arsenal down that side last week. I would be scared if Tsimikas was like sort of hanging out there, just getting 2v1'd all the time. I know I can rely on Robertson just to deal with the situation, and look, he's got the fitness, the experience now just to cope. I feel, and I feel it's a big game too early for Tsimikas. He's done well, but in a game like this where you have to be perfect, Robertson's got to start if he's fit.
And what I like to say is Lukaku will occupy Van Dijk and Matip. However, we will hate to say it, the way that he's playing at the moment, he will occupy those two and bring in the 2 10s into play, whether that's Mount and Havertz or Mount and Werner or Werner and Havertz. And those two will then occupy the wingers. And then the wing backs will also do that, an overload. Chelsea love an overload. So they have to be defensively sound. And I think Trent and Robbo would be much more solid on that front than Trent and Tsimikas.
Yeah. Are we afraid of Chelsea? Playing a bit safer, playing Firmino as opposed to Jota?
No, we're just giving them some. Oh, and obviously, like they're a good team. We can't just come and say, yeah, like let's play Tsimikas because he's playing well. And plus, I still don't feel like Tsimikas has even earned the right yet to even be in form and to keep his place, even if Robertson's fit. Remember, we only played Burnley and Norwich. No respect, but those two teams are probably going to be scrapping for the relegation, wasn't it? So that I don't feel like we should use those 2 games to be like, oh, he's played so well, let's keep him there. If he starts and he plays well, then they're cool. There might be a few conversations, but even so, Robertson's been doing this for about a year and a bit, so we can't just come and kick him out. So, but yeah, and plus Chelsea, like they've got what's his name back, Lukaku. They're a good team. I'm not gonna lie to you, they're probably stronger than City right now. So this is what I'm saying. So we just got to give them some respect and just man.
Yeah, they are. I think, at least in my eyes, we're top 2 in the league. I think this is gonna be a great matchup to see where we're at.